Okay, now I'm cutting this pipe, as you see. Well, we'll get around here. Let me get the right angle. This copper pipe goes straight up. All right, let me get this angle right here. Here we go. Now you can see it. This copper pipe, all right, comes straight up. So I'm going to cut this off here at this point. All right, it's kind of dark and hard to see, but so I'm cutting all this off at this point where this line's going to tie into it with the connector, and I'll show you how I'm going to set that up in just a minute. Okay, let's get this tight. Down, okay, make a couple turns. Okay, get this turning. All right, now it's starting to get loose. Now that it's loose, take this pipe cutter and again turn this down. Okay, or should I say clockwise? Alright, now it's feeling loose again. Alright, you can see how easy it's turning. Okay, now it's loose. Tighten this down a little bit more. It should come off in just a minute. Okay, here we are, it's loose again. Tighten it a little more. Okay, not quite. It'll be off in just a second. Really. Alright, now you can see I've cut through. All I gotta do is just knock it off. Now I'm going to sand it and clean that up. Okay, some 320 sandpaper or some steel wool. Okay, I'm going to use this fine steel wool. Okay, I'm just going to take this, just kind of work it. Okay. You can see just a little bit, cleaned it pretty good, as well as where I went around it with the cutter, cleaned it there at the tip. You can see the corrosion. I'm also going to clean that off as well. But for the shark bite fitting to work, I'm going to make sure this is cleaned up. I may add even a little Vaseline to the shark bite itself because of the rubber seal in there. The rubber seal dries out and then they fail. So I'm going to put Vaseline on the shark bite just a tiny bit with the Q-tip to give it some extra moisture to the rubber inside this shark bite. And then hopefully it will last for years and years and years to come. So we'll see how that works out. All right. Okay, it's petroleum jelly. This is a Q-tip. Okay. We're just gonna get just an ever so coating on this. All right. Little bit on here. And I'm going to, okay, there's the package, shark bite. Now, what I'm going to show you inside, you see the black, that's a black rubber O-ring inside there. Okay, and I'm going to take this Q-tip, I'm going to get it, I'm going to put this Vaseline on it. Okay, and that's how we're going to do this. Okay, so let's get down in there. I'm going to have to get that really good. So I have to pause this. Okay, now you really can't tell, but I put a pretty good amount in there. I mean, but as you can see, you can't even tell, all right? I probably dipped that Q-tip in there 3 or 4 different times, had a small amount on it each time, and I coated this really good, all right? And now I'm going to put it on. Okay, now, as long as this doesn't fall on me, the camera that is I'm talking about, all right? Here we go. We just take this shark bite and we just slip it right on. Okay. Bam. There it is. Just like that. Then the next step is we're going to take our hose, our supply line hose, and we're going to put it on. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. We are going to put this adapter on. It's a 1/2 inch FEM OD. That is a pipe thread fitting, all right, to a 3/8. And so here we got to take this off, and then this screws on here. Okay, if I have any leaks, then I will be putting plumber's tape on here. All right, that plastic wrapping that goes around it. Now I can attach my supply line to this, and I will probably have to tighten it up a bit more with the crescent wrench. A couple crescent wrenches, one to hold it and the other one to turn it. Okay. So, or we use the wrenches. Let's see, I don't think this 15, is this 15 going to work? No, this 15 is not going to work on this one. Alright, that worked for the other one. And the 17 is going to be way too big. That's a little loose, but it might allow me to do what I need to do. Alright, it's starting to turn now. So now, right, I'll have to get the crescent wrench on here, put it to the nut, and then tighten it with the finger right here so it gets nice and tight. Now it's right, it's adjusted. Okay, now hold this one and turn the supply line. There we go. Flip this around. Okay, by flipping your wrench around, it saves a lot of hassle. You just flip it. Okay. Remember that you just flip this around. And I flip it again every time, and it saves you a hassle of trying to get it tight and readjusting your wrench. Because what happens if I don't turn it around? I got to take this wrench and I got to come way back here to do it again. Okay? Where if I take it and I flip it, I can go right here. See? I don't have to come down here, which I have to do otherwise. See? But by flipping it like this, you can stay right where you're at, flip, grab it again, and that's how it's designed. But not everybody is taught this, and that's the problem. Alright, now we're going to do it again here. We're going to hold this, as long as this will open up to the right size. Okay, that may not open up big enough for me. And it may, let's see here, okay, it did. Alright, so now, again, kind of wiggle this back and forth and turn the thumb screw to get this adjusted, where it's just nice and tight for you. And this is, sometimes you have to take it off because it wants to stick. Okay, get this back on, then adjust your thumb screw so it's tight. There we are, that's tight. Now, alright, that there. Now for the white shark bite, this may or may not get big enough for me. No, I don't think so. Just barely. Just barely big enough, alright. I'm going to wiggle this back and forth, twist the thumb screw so it gets tight. Okay, there we are. Now we're going to have to get that's what I was afraid of, it flipping around like. Okay, I got this adjusted on here, alright, that's nice and tight. I now can tighten this. To where this is good and snug. We don't want to strip this plastic out because this plastic is easily stripped. Okay, as long as it doesn't leak when I turn on the water, then we're all good. Oh, alright. So there you have it. Okay, now we'll be hooking up, tightening up this other side, which will show you in a minute. Okay, when you're first doing this, okay, you need this brass ring. This brass ring goes over, okay, the copper pipe. And then you want to measure how deep, how far back you need to put this, okay, on here. Now if you look close, right behind here, you can see that brass ring on the outer edge, just inside. Alright, because there's already one there, and this is as far as that's going to go. Okay, but you take and you look inside, you measure this to where it stops, where it's in the flat section right there on the inside to the outer edge. And then you put that over, you put your nut on first, and then you put that back at that point. Then you slide your valve on. Okay, now I'm having to change out the valve to this one here because I've got one for my water supply line going from the sink, and the other one goes over to the garbage disposal. Okay, and so now I'm going to put this on. This is going to sit over here like this, and you'll see I'm going to tighten this up and get everything connected, and then I'll show you what it looks like at that point. Okay, I've pulled off the handle, and as you see, alright, this is going to come across here. It's going to go down and then back over. Alright, let me give you this overview. It's just kind of a... Alright, so here it is. It's dropping down. Okay. And then goes over and goes to the dishwasher. Alright. So that's how that's going to look. Okay, if the wrench handle was the second hand on the clock, all right, like I say, clockwise and counterclockwise, all right, so if I go down, that would be clockwise, not fall down, but down, as you'll see here in a second. All right, we are tightening. Okay, that's clockwise, or you could call it down, or in. Okay, so this is going clockwise as we tighten. Now on the back side, it's in reverse to tighten. It's counterclockwise to tighten, okay? Which has already been done. So on the face of this is clockwise, where the water connections, water pipes, okay, the supply line. Okay, it's getting snug. You don't want to over tighten these. You want it snug and then firm, about right there is good. Now we're going to tighten. I'm going to put this handle on here, and we are going to find out we're going to have a leak if everything's tight enough. And it looks like there is no drippage here. Okay, this is right in the way of the handle, how it ended up falling, how it ended up just kind of laying out here. That's not a good thing, but that's how it is. Like I may be able to adjust this and turn this so it's not running across, because you don't really want that interfering with your handle over here. Alright, so I will probably end up turning, because I've got this pipe and this pipe. So if I adjust it and turn it where it's up a little more, this flexible line here allows me to do that, so it's not going to interfere with this at all. So that's what I'm going to have to do, is take this and then turn it a little more and to get that dialed in. And it will remove that from line from being across that handle there and interfering with that being shut off. Okay, I think. Okay, this plastic, I think it was previously stripped out before I bought it. So now I'm going to have to go another direction, because I'm not going to use this plastic. But you've seen the process nonetheless. And where I use the where I use the Vaseline inside that inside the shark bite for the rubber seal, 100% silicone may work as good, better, and help the seal as well. But nonetheless, I think the Vaseline was an ideal medium for that, to keep that rubber seal in there lubricated, because what happens is that rubber seal inside the shark bite dries out over time, and then they start cracking and leaking, and that's why they go bad. And that was the purpose for the silicone. So part 2, I will be showing you what the process I'm going to use so that I don't have this issue, period. Alright, thanks for watching, and let's stay tuned for part 2. And so here we go. We will catch you on the rebound. That's where it's at right now. I even put a little bit of the plumber's tape on there, as you can see, but that didn't work out. So I'll have to go this other route.